All right, let us go to the main event of the evening this Saturday night. Holm versus Bueno Silva. Holly Holm, the 41-year-old out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, USA, 15-6 as a pro, with 8 knockouts on her resume. Most recently, scoring a UD victory over Yana Santos back in March. Standing across from Mayra Bueno Silva, her nickname is Chitara. I wonder if that's a reference to like Thundercats with Chitara. Was that the character's name in Thundercats?
That's what I always think of when I hear it.
Chitara. 31 years old, out of Brazil, 10-2 with 1 draw, 7 submission victories on her record. She is riding a 3-fight win streak coming into this Saturday night. Most recently, adding a sub to her record, knee-barring Lena Landsberg in the second round back in February of this year. Omar, start us off this time. Give us the analysis and ultimately your pick for this main event bantamweight clash.
Another really interesting matchup here. You have somebody in Mayra Bueno Silva that loves to take things down to the ground and loves to use her jiu-jitsu to get things done. And then you have somebody in Holly Holm who is very much about making sure that she fights her fight, making sure that she doesn't put herself in positions to potentially lose a fight, right? In other words, she's not going to give Mayra Bueno Silva the opportunities that maybe a lot of other fighters would to get a submission. I think we've seen Holly Holm kind of try to get or keep the fight where she wants to against women who may not have the accolades to actually take her down, and I don't think Bueno Silva is at that point. I think Holly Holm will be able to keep this on the feet. I think she'll be able to strike at distance with Bueno Silva, and I don't think that Bueno Silva is going to be able to get anything off. I think Holly Holm eats, and I think it'll be 3 rounds or 5? 5?
Yep. 5, yeah, main event.
I don't even think it goes 5, to be honest, man. I think she melts her, and it's probably going to be a TKO by round 4.
Wow. Okay, Mark.
Mike's face was just frozen. So funny for me. Okay, Holly is favored. She is minus 175. Mayra Bueno Silva is a plus 145 underdog. 2 inches of height and 2.5 inches of reach favoring Holly Holm here. I like Bueno Silva, man. She's already got 4 submissions in the UFC. It's always fun to have a girl in the women's divisions who can end things with sudden submissions. I do think the move to 135 was a good one for her. I think she looks much better at this weight class. But all that being said, I'm just not convinced that she's going to be able to grab a hold of Holly Holm for long enough to tap her. Holly, as much as she's thought of as a striker, she has really evolved over the years with her wrestling and her grappling to the point that I do expect her to be okay here. If she ever did end up in a situation where Silva had her back or Silva ended up in mount or anything like that, then yeah, Holm's going to be in trouble. That's a different story. But I think she can prevent it from ever getting to that point. And while Silva is also very down to scrap it out on the feet, I just don't think she's at a technical level to hang with or beat Holly Holm. Granted, I was very confident of that same exact point when we were talking about Robert Whittaker and Dricus du Plessis, and we know how that went. But I think Holly can mostly stay away from the grappling and fight a typical Holly Holm fight, maybe a little less clinching than she normally employs just to kind of try to keep them separate a bit more. But a lot of front kicks, long-range weapons, jabs, and then some bigger shots mixed in as she's able to open Silva up a bit. And I also think the cardio favors Holly, too, here as this fight goes on. So I will roll with Holly Holm by UD.
So, perusing Holly Holm's resume, other than her most recent loss against Ketlin Vieira, she really has only lost to a selection of girls who you would say are among the best. She lost to Amanda. She lost to Cyborg. She lost to Jermaine Durandamy. She lost to Valentina. And, of course, she lost the belt to Misha in one of Misha's greatest, guttiest performances ever. I would not yet put Ketlin Vieira in that same sort of breath as some of those other girls. That being said, Holly Holm, for the most part...
You could also argue that she beat Ketlin Vieira.
It was a split. That's right. Uh,
Yeah.
and I agree, and that I think Holly does a great job of being elusive. She sticks and moves. She has great movement. That being said, I always bring up this point. I think at 41 years old, I think her age is going to start to show, and I see the decade younger Bueno Silva getting this fight to the ground eventually. I think she's only going to need one or a few takedowns. As much as Holly is a vet, I just see the younger Bueno Silva getting it done in this contest. I'm going to say she hands Holly her first loss by a finish in a few years since her loss to Amanda back in 2019. I'll say Bueno Silva by submission in the middle of the fight. I'll say third round for MBS.